Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at GrowFold, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at the Home Depot in Plano, Texas. As always, please make sure you are pressing that thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as give me a follow on Instagram. My Instagram name is at GrowFold. If you have any questions about the plants, welcome to the channel. For those that are new, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos, typically at big box stores, but I also travel to local nurseries as well. But today's episode is going to be focused alongside of all of the big box store plants you will find at Home Depot. I love shopping at Home Depot because they do have a wide selection of plants, and typically their plants are very much so cost effective, because the name of the game whenever you are shopping for plants is to find one that is cost effective. So you can see right off the bat, this Home Depot has quite a bit of plants. I'm just going to pan around here and show you what they have to offer. I'm going to really be focused on a lot of the Proven Winners Leafjoy plants, as well as the Nature's Way plants, Vigoro plants, and even talking about some of the plant fertilizers and plant products I use to make my plants grow lush and full. But you can see right over here, this is a very full indoor tropical section. This particular Home Depot actually has a separate section where it's more of like a greenhouse that houses a lot of their indoor tropical plants, which is what I like because they do have a tall window that gets them a lot of light. So the first plant we're going to be looking at, plant foldies, is this cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. This one is called the Kiwi. So it's got a little tricolor, lots of colors going on with this cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. This plant is better suited to be grown outdoors because whenever you bring this particular plant indoors, it is a little bit more spider mite prone. It is for $19.98. Not a bad price at all, but I would recommend growing this plant outdoors in a patio area where it gets a lot of bright indirect light. Now, if you're going to bring this plant indoors, you're going to have to spray it down with pest spray like neem oil to keep the spider mites out of its foliage. So that's the thing about a lot of the plants that we want to grow indoors. Some of them are just a little bit more pest prone. The cordyline tea plant is pest prone. Now, this one right here is in Aglaonema. This is an Aglaonema Nicole, and for $29.98, it's got a beautiful border, a dark green foliage. It's almost like a grayish metallic tone. I love Aglaonemas. It is not a secret that Aglaonemas are basically my favorite plant to collect. Most of my plants these days are mostly Aglaonema. I will delve into a couple of other plants, like maybe some philodendrons, some monstera, some pothos plants, but Aglaonema is the king of my plant collection. This one, although it is just a green foliage Aglaonema, it is one that is super easy. And if you don't have an Aglaonema, please go ahead and go to Home Depot, buy yourself an Aglaonema Nicole, buy yourself some type of Aglaonema. I would highly recommend it. It will change your life. I truly believe that if you don't have an Aglaonema, you are missing out on plants. So that's just my spiel on Aglaonema. We'll talk more about it in just a bit. But what you will find whenever you are shopping at Home Depot or any big box store is you will find common plants that are easy to grow, more accessible to the general public. For instance, like this ZZ plant right here, beautiful plant. It is drought tolerant, low light tolerant, and that is a theme through a lot of my videos. Is I like to promote plants that are just easy care, because easy care means less stress. And when you talk about easy care plants, $19.98. This is an Epipremnum aureum, or what you call a golden pothos. This is a classic plant. This is a beginner-friendly plant, and for the most part, this is a budget-friendly plant as well. So if you're looking for something easy care, inexpensive, pothos plants are ones that you could add into your collection. And in plant foldies, as you can see right here, we do have a bunch of monsteras. This is semi-mature monsteras because it hasn't fully fenestrated yet. And then let's go ahead and spin around here and take a look at some of the other plants. always wanted to be able to grow a cordyline Hawaiian tea plant indoors, but unfortunately they are just very much so spider mite prone. I don't want people to be discouraged if you want to grow that in your home, but I also like to give you guys my personal experiences with certain plants, and that's the reason why I do these daily 1-hour plant shopping videos, just to give you some of my personal insights. Now, you can see right here, look at how beautiful this alocasia is. As much as I love the metallic shine on the leaves, the purple undersides, the veining, this is another plant that is, you guessed it, susceptible to spider mites. And I don't know if it's just specifically certain plants that are just adapted as an indoor tropical plant. Maybe it just needs higher humidity levels, but alocasia tend to be more of a challenging plant. Now, I get a lot of direct messages and questions about what plant products I use. I definitely recommend using Osmocote Plus. So this is one of the slow release fertilizers that you can use to be mixed into your soil substrates or even on top of the soil. I love using Osmocote. It is one that for every watering you do, it is feeding your plant. Super Thrive. So this is a B vitamin complex that I would recommend, especially for those that want to give your plant a little bit more vigor to recover it from any stress. I definitely use that for my plants that I get from overseas. And what else do we have over here? So the big box stores like Home Depot, you can find many plant products, different types of fertilizers. People have their various opinions about Miracle-Gro fertilizers. Some people are into Miracle-Gro, some people are totally against Miracle-Gro. I have honestly been using Miracle-Gro all-purpose fertilizer for about 2 decades, and it has done very well for my plants, both indoor tropical plants, outdoor gardening plants, my vegetable plants. And yes, some people are more into the organic alternatives, but I actually use this all-purpose plant fertilizer, and I've been using this Miracle-Gro garden feeder, and it is wonderful. I literally have been doing half the dose of the Miracle-Gro fertilizer, so I'm able to actually fertilize a lot of my plants that are outdoors, being grown outdoors. So my aglaonemas, my pothos plants, all of my indoor tropical plants have been getting fertilized every other day. Some people might say that's over fertilization on the plants, but honestly, I haven't seen leaf burn. I have just seen lots more vigorous growth. So really excited about that. And you know, with the Miracle-Gro fertilizer, it is a very balanced fertilizer. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, if you use all-purpose Miracle-Gro fertilizer. What fertilizers do y'all actually use? I do recommend also using fish fertilizer. So a little tidbit about me. I absolutely love taking care of fancy ornamental goldfish. For the longest time, I actually had a 100-gallon aquarium where I actually had different types of goldfish like orandas, ryukins, tamasaba, some of these more uncommon and rare goldfish. The only problem I had is that you actually have to do frequent water changes, and I just couldn't keep up with it. But using aquarium water is really good for your plants as well. So that's another alternative for like a organic type fertilizer. Now, Leafjoy Proven Winners plants, so these are the terrariums. So normally it's $79.98. It is now 50% off at this particular Home Depot, $49.98. And you can see that this is a beautiful terrarium by Proven Winners Leafjoy. I actually would love to get one of these eventually. So you can see we've got a beautiful Dracaena, a Hoya Carnosa, we've got a Hoya Matilde, and Fittonia plant all in one. I was really tempted to actually treat myself to a Proven Winners terrarium, and that's the thing about going Home Depot, big box or plant shopping. Sometimes you walk in there and you will find plants that are 50% off. Everybody loves a deal. At least for me, I love saving money. And you know, whenever you're going plant shopping, if you run into a deal, sometimes you have that impulse buy. I almost did an impulse buy because you can see right here, these plants are super healthy. It's already created, and it is only for $49.98. Now, I do like doing DIY terrariums. That's something eventually that I will do. So I've talked about this on some of my other previous episodes about how I want to kind of pivot into more of a indoor interior design aesthetic, kind of like Benji Plants. If you guys have ever watched Benji Plants, he used to do a lot of like plant care, plant content, and has kind of pivoted into interior design, home decor plant styling, I want to go ahead and do that as well. It's probably not going to happen until probably the beginning of next year when the weather gets warm again, because fall is already coming around. And you know, with all of the commitments that I have, I am just hoping that I can get my plant organized and also get my house cleaned up to where I can do a legitimate house plant tour, and then just talk about the aesthetics of design when it comes to plants. I know that for me, I know that I've been hoarding plants. Literally, I've been buying Aglaonemas that I probably don't need to buy. And so there's a difference between collecting plants, growing plants to grow plants because you're satisfied with whatever plants you have. Hence my best friend Isaac. If you haven't watched his house plant tour, definitely check that out. I definitely was able to kind of reflect on the reasons why I grow plants and the reasons why I don't necessarily have to like inundate my plant collection with more plants, because the more plants you have, the more you're going to have to take care of your plants. So that's a running dialogue I've been having as I do these big box or plant shopping videos. But as you can see right here, Proven Winners Leafjoy plants. I love this small terrarium right here. This one is for $19.98. So you see Phoetonias, and you know, as much as I love the pink veining of Phoetonias, they are better suited for higher humidity levels, hence terrariums. And you can see we've got more Proven Winners Leafjoy plants. This one is a button fern, and I love the look of a button fern. The thing about ferns is I'm not as big of a fan of ferns because of the watering requirements ferns need. For me, I try to steer away from plants that are very thirsty plants. It's because I know in my daily lifestyle, my career with my job, and just all the things that I do outside of YouTube and plants, I just know that I'm not going to be able to consistently water my plants. Now, like Epipremnum aureum, golden pothos, that is needing to be watered, but it's a little bit more forgiving. There are certain plants that once you underwater them or put them in drought, they quickly decline in health to the point where they are knocking on the gates of plant heaven. I've seen it happen. I've actually done that with some of my Aglaonema, where even with Aglaonema, for instance, they might be more drought tolerant, but if you let them dry out too long, they start to get leggy. So, you know, lesson learned. For me, I am really just trying to be more curated in my approach for my plants. And I really do hope that I can do a legitimate house plant tour. I know you guys have been waiting for more than a year, but I really want to do it right. I really want to be able to edit it. I really want to be able to get the right lighting, to get the plants organized, to be able to curate even the soundtrack, because I know that the actual tracks that I use for my big box or plant shopping videos are mostly lo-fi, you know, relaxing, chill beats with a little bit of classical instruments like a violin. Thanks again to my friend Jordan, who has made all of the soundtracks for my YouTube channel. It definitely helps with non-copyrighted music, because full transparency, I do a lot of these daily plant shopping videos for a little bit of passive income. So even just your viewership, your likes, your comments, your video hypes, you sharing these videos, it really does help boost the YouTube revenue. And I really appreciate even those that have taken the time to join my YouTube membership tier. Like I said, again, it is only for the price of $2.99 for like the price of a cup of coffee. It does make this YouTube channel a little bit more sustainable in terms of passive income, because I do invest many hours throughout my days to create this content. So it helps just a little bit. But to go back to the plants, as you can see right here, we've got Proven Winners Littles. I love the fact that they have them for only $5.98. I love the packaging of Proven Winners plants. I love the Leafjoy series. And, you know, someday I would love to be able to maybe be an ambassador or promote more Proven Winners Leafjoy plants. I just really think that the curated look of some of the Proven Winners plants that they've actually put into place is amazing. And they've released certain household plants that haven't been released by other major plant nurseries that provide big box stores. So, you know, it goes back to the fact that if you are more open to sourcing out your plants from different nurseries, different places such as big box stores, local plant nurseries, independent online sellers overseas, for instance, you're you're really going to be able to get the best value for your money whenever you're shopping for plants, because you get a wide range of different types of pricing. But let's go ahead, plant foldies, and I'm just going to continue to show you some more of the plants that they have here. I do like the fact that Proven Winners Leafjoy also has what they call the H2O bowls, which are basically plants that are growing in straight water. I love that as well, and we're going to go ahead and pick up this calathea, for instance. Recently purchased this Aglaonema not too long ago at another Home Depot out in West Plano, Texas. Look at how beautiful this green Aglaonema is. I love the fact that it has that white stems, but if you can see, there are several different colors of green on this Aglaonema, and I love the fact that you can see it's super healthy. You can see that it is just growing in straight water. Now, the only thing I would say is if you are going to grow a plant in just hydroponic like this, you do want to put some plant nutrients, but look at how healthy this is. And I would even say Proven Winners Leafjoy plants, the H2O bowls, are very innovative. They were one of the first nurseries to really get into growing plants hydroponically. So I just love the fact that this one is available, and I really hope that for those that love Aglaonema, that somebody would end up buying this plant. I would hate for this plant to go to plant heaven, because look at how stunning it is. I definitely love the fact that Proven Winners Leafjoy has really invested in different types of plants. I'm just waiting for that one nursery, one big box store nursery, whether it's Proven Winners Leafjoy, Urban Jungle Plants, Vigoro Plants, Nature's Way Plants, Costa Farms Plants, Live Trends Design Plants, who is going to actually release all of the more colorful Aglaonemas and set a trend, because right now, to me, this is trending, and I wish more people would really get into these easy care plants. So let me just continue to pick up some more of these plants and show you that are growing in straight hydroponics. Go to Proven Winners Leafjoy plants. I love that Aglaonema, and honestly, if I could afford to buy it for $29.98, I would buy both, because again, that is a prime example about somebody who is addicted to houseplants. I know I definitely have a plant addiction. I'm really trying to wean away from feeling the need to buy plants, but how difficult is it to stop buying plants? I mean, I feel like some people are in the same boat as me, where you just feel like you have to buy plants whenever you see it. For me, doing these big box or plant shopping videos has created a little bit of a hole in my wallet, but it's definitely worth it because I do get the time to just practice mindfulness. So, somebody had asked me what the process is of me to do these big box or plant shopping videos. And truthfully, I just pick up my phone, walk into a big box store and silently focus and film plants. That's literally it. I have been focused on trying to get different types of angles and trying to make sure that the plants are stabilized so where it's not really jerky. I mean, you can see over here, beautiful Dracaena in a H2O type situation. I'm just curious if any of the plant foldies have actually invested in growing plants in straight hydroponics. At one point, I wanted to grow them, but I've noticed that sometimes whenever you are actually trying to convert them from soil to hydroponic straight water, the conversion doesn't actually happen. But as you can see right here, this is a very full Home Depot, one that I would also recommend. It is right off of I-75 near the George Bush Tollway, if anybody's familiar of the North Dallas area. And you can see right here, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up some more of these Proven Winner plants. Now these ones are in ceramic planters. They have a bunch of Hoyas, and these ones are for $9.97. I don't know if it's just me, but I even just like picking up like golden pothos and even some of these common plants. It's just, for me, it's the easy care. And then just lately, I've been into just taking cuttings of my plants and actually propagating them in water. I think I'm following suit and actually doing that to the point where my grandmother was able to actually get a bunch of plant propagations. I did post the begonia black magic in a terracotta planter. So I'm doing Instagram story live selling, where basically I'm posting a picture of my grandmother's plant, and I am taking offers for it. So we're doing it like almost like a silent auction. So if you have Instagram and you're interested in buying my grandmother's plant, I am able to ship through most parts of the United States. I would ship on either a Monday or a Tuesday once that is there, but we'll see if I'm actually going to be able to sell some of my plants. I know some of you guys have actually gotten interested in doing that, but we'll see what that looks like. So if you have Instagram, definitely check out my Instagram stories. I've been posting a lot on that. And then I've also been posting a lot about just the plants that I've been getting into in terms of these big box stores. So for me, the Proven Winners peperomias, for instance, is Peperomia obtusifolia. Spice is nice. Look at the tri-colors on this particular plant. Now, again, care tips for this plant is super easy. Water when the soil is dry, bright indirect light, and that is it. Now, I didn't even realize that peperomias are not as popular of a plant for people to collect. But again, it's one of those things where sometimes the plants that are the easiest, people don't really look into collecting plants. Like, for instance, my favorite pothos plant is the neon pothos, and this one is for only $19.98. Now, you can see that this is a little bit bleached because it's gotten a little bit more light than it needs. So it's more of like a sun stress pothos plant. But look at this particular leaf right here. Look at that. That is super cool. And I wish that there would be another pothos mutation where you can get like really deep colors of green and neon together. Now with pothos plants, what most people don't know is pothos plants, at least Epipremnum aurea, haven't really bloomed, or at least I've never really seen a pothos bloom in the wild, or it hasn't been reported. At least I haven't seen it. And so the reason why pothos varieties are on the rise is because of the variegation mutation. It's not necessarily from seeds like a lot of these other plants that are hybridized and cross-pollinated. With pothos plants, it's literally getting a stabilization of a particular variegation or leaf growth. So for me, that's really interesting. But either way, growing pothos plants for me is super easy, especially when you are growing them outdoors in a shaded patio. And then you can see over here, Proven Winners Leafjoy plants. They have several different types of Hoyas. This one is one that I would also recommend buying because I've realized that Hoyas are really not that that challenging of a plant to grow. I just wish my Hoya would actually bloom for me. I've had one for about a year. It's a Hoya carnosa and it hasn't bloomed yet. So I may try to boost the blooms by giving it some bloom booster, getting a bunch of phosphorus in its soil substrate to see if it'll push out the growth. But you can see right here, $5.98. This Chouke Hoya. That is another one. So the Proven Winners Leafjoy Littles are a really good value for the amount of money you spend on houseplants. I do think that $5.98 for these Proven Winners Leafjoy plants, especially when it comes to Hoyas, is a really good value. Oftentimes Hoyas are a little bit more pricey, especially for those that are a little bit more uncommon and rare. I do want to ask if there are any Hoya fans that are plant foldies. Let me know in the comments section what Hoyas you would recommend, what Hoyas you are currently growing, because again, I really do love the engagement that you guys give me in the comment section. Now this one right here is a Hydra Helix, or the correct way to say it is Hedera Helix. This one is the Hedera Helix Yellow Rice. I really do like the jaggedy edges of this particular plant. This looks like to be a Proven Winners Leafjoy hybrid. I was almost tempted to buy this, and I know that there was at one point the Hydra Helix challenge that some of the plant foldies were doing, where basically you would buy an English ivy from a big box store or someplace, and then take the date you buy the plant, bring it indoors, and chronicle how long you actually take care of the English ivy without it getting spider mites or going to plant heaven. I know I kind of failed that challenge because my Hedera Helix or English ivy, they always get spider mites indoors. And so for me, I'm actually growing an English ivy outdoors with very minimal care. Literally my sprinkler system waters it. I couldn't believe that I actually left English ivy outdoors. Even in the winter where it literally snowed, and for some reason it still survived. So that was a very hardy plant, and it's quite interesting how certain plants again are very much spider mite prone whenever you take them indoors, but when you take them outdoors, it's like giving them like plant steroids where they just become very much resilient plants. So English ivy, and then also this right here, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this pothos plant again, $19.98. This is by Vigoro Plants, and you know, if you're looking for hanging baskets of pothos, especially this neon pothos right here, I would recommend this as one of the beginner plants. You can notice that this has really high neon colors because this one is actually getting a lot of light. Now, in terms of pothos plants like this, you don't want to give it direct light, although I've seen pothos plants grow in full sun, but that would be through acclimating it, and it really depends on the heat or your weather. So in North Dallas, which is where I'm based at, we get summers that are over 100 degrees, but this year was actually very mild. We only had 6 days where we broke over 100, and it's starting to cool down. It's interesting though, because lately it's been like a high of 85, but then a low of 60 in the evening. So there is a huge temperature differentiation on that. So I am still trying to figure out when I should start bringing some of my plants indoors. I know that in the next this coming weekend I'm actually off, so I may spend some time organizing my space to make sure I can grow them indoors or even in my garage. There's just a lot of things that I have to remove. But anyways, plant foldies, I'm going to continue to just show you guys some more of these plants. So Proven Winners Leafjoy Littles, $5.98. This is a Fittonia Zam Ruby Lime. And so one thing I will highlight about Proven Winners Leafjoy plants is they have different names for their plants. Some of them might be the same plant that we can commonly find, but then again, there are some Proven Winners plants that are definitely their hybrids, their patented names. So for me, huge fan of Proven Winners plants. I do think that there is a really good value for the price that they're asking for, and it even gets better when you are going to a Home Depot and you see some of their plants on sale for like 50% off. So it just really depends. And for me, especially if you are living in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, make sure you are pressing the subscribe button for this video, but also turning on all notifications. And the reason being is most of the current plant pricing, at least in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, whenever I mention it, is of the current pricing for the area that we live in. So I would hope that you guys would actually turn on the notifications as well. I've noticed that even if somebody is subscribed to a YouTube channel, unless you go back and actually turn on all notifications, it may not always recommend on your feed. So hopefully we can do that. And I did also want to share with the plant foldies. I know that I'm a little chatty today. I know you might want to just see the plants, but I am so excited. Can you believe, plant foldies, that we are about to be at 13,000 YouTube subscribers? We're about 40 subscribers away, and I did want to again take the time to say thank you so much for tuning in, just for clicking on the video, pressing the like button, and watching all the way through. You have helped push my content out to more plant lovers like yourself, and I'm hoping that by the end of the month we will break over 13,000 YouTube subscribers. So let me get off of that and actually talk about the plant. So you can see that these are the ceramic planters for $19.98. So I just picked up a calathea. This one is a calathea dotty, and it is in a 6-inch planter. I do find this philodendron Prince of Orange for $19.98. Stunning. I mean, look at the coloration, look at the veining, and I just love the fact that Prince of Orange definitely has a very bright orange tone whenever the new leaf is unfurling, hence getting the name Prince of Orange. It's definitely royalty. And you know what? For a plant that has such beautiful coloration, this is a very easy to care for plant. So highly recommend that as well. And if you want another easy to care for plant, this is another one I would recommend. This is a Sansevieria Moonshine for $14.98. This is Vigoro plant. So we have several different types of Sansevieria. Most of these are Sansevieria trifasciata, also known as the snake plant. What makes these plants super easy is that they are low light tolerant and drought tolerant. So in terms of just being able to grow these plants, they're definitely forgiving. One thing I will say about these Sansevieria is sometimes people will actually let them dry out too long, and that actually causes dry rot, where instead of root rot, it just dries the roots to the point where they are so dehydrated that they're not viable roots. So there is a point where some of the plants are ending up to be where they're not viable roots. So you just have to make sure you're not underwatering them too much. I tend to be like that as well, and that's how I've sent some of the snake plants to Plant Heaven. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, many plants to pick from. So oftentimes I do go to big box store plant shopping videos for Lowe's, but I also like showcasing the ones that are available in terms of the plants at Home Depot, because there is different varieties. I mean, you can see right here, this is a combination planter of a Dracaena, an Aglaonema red Siam, and some pothos. So this one is for $39.98. So as you know, I actually am raising 2 backyard chickens, and one thing that I always have to consider is the fact that these actually need to be around plants that are pet friendly, and one pet friendly plant is the spider plant right here. This one is for $19.98. Really love the look of this particular plant as well, and it's another one that I would recommend if you are wanting to grow a plant that is pet friendly. There's different varieties. Again, this one is for $19.98. Really like the look of that. And we're going to spin around here and take a look at some of the Dracaena. But look at this plant foldies. What do you think of all the plants that are available at this Home Depot? I would love to know your insights in terms of what your Home Depots look like throughout the United States, different parts of the country, because I will say the Home Depots, the big box stores, at least in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, are typically organized and full of plants. So I feel very fortunate to be able to live in an area where I can show you beautiful Dracaena marginata coralorama, for instance. Like, look at this right here. Look at how beautiful that is, and that is for $19.98. This one is a Dracaena that definitely does need a lot of bright indirect light. Some Dracaenas actually don't follow the typical Dracaena care in terms of being able to tolerate lower light conditions. This one definitely needs quite a bit of bright indirect light, but you can see how beautiful the reddish pink margins are. I am a huge fan of it, and hopefully, some people are going to get more into these Dracaenas, because to me, these are the plants that we definitely need to be getting into, are the easy care plants. I cannot stress to the plant folding community about really getting into plants that are not stressful in terms of the plant care, whether it is low light tolerant or drought tolerant. And then you can see right over here, I'm going to be picking up a couple more Proven Winners Leafjoy plants. They have some over here on the side. You can see this one is a Philodendron Bellitiae, and just the amount of different types of philodendrons that Proven Winners has to offer is pretty amazing, and I'm just hoping that they continue to do some more releases for the general public. I will say that Proven Winners Leafjoy definitely doesn't gatekeep the plants. They definitely make it more accessible for the general public. You can even see right over here, we've got a Philodendron Pink Princess. This one isn't highly variegated, but it's still one that I would recommend if you are looking to grow an easy care plant. So this is another Philodendron Bellitiae, and I just remember when this plant was hundreds of dollars about 4 to 5 years ago, and now you can buy that for only $19.98 at Home Depot of all places. This is a beautiful Philodendron gloriosum. I have one of these. It's actually been doing very well growing outdoors in my back patio. It is a philodendron that likes to crawl. So some philodendron like to actually grow up a pole, some type of structure, but this one likes to crawl across the soil substrate. The beauty of being able to go to Home Depot and see all of these wonderful plants by Proven Winners Leafjoy, it's just amazing, and I will never get tired of filming these plants. I know that a lot of y'all have seen these plants time and time again, but there's something magical about just being able to see these in person. So I urge everybody to possibly go to a big box store, check out your plants, see what you're finding, because the DFW area is still getting quite a bit of plants. I mean, you can see right here, this is a whole table of Vigoro plants, Nature's Way plants right over here, $14.98. We've got a ponytail palm, really cute curly leaves. I do love that, and I didn't even realize that it's not necessarily a palm, that is more of a succulent type plant. And then over here for $14.98, we've also got a Dracaena. Now Dracaenas, again, very underrated plants. I really don't see a lot of people talking about Dracaena. So my question is, for anybody that's listening, watching this video today, do you grow Dracaenas? Leave that in the comments section. And you already know Plant Foldies, $14.98. We've got to get ourselves an Aglaonema Silver Bay. If you don't have an Aglaonema Silver Bay, please buy one. I say that in every single video. Buy yourself an Aglaonema. Can we all commit to getting ourselves at least one Aglaonema in our plant collection? Just let me know. And then over here, $19.98, we've got another Philodendron Ring of Fire in a 6-inch planter. And what I did discover about Philodendron Ring of Fire is that the variegation is not as stable as you would think. If you do not give it enough bright indirect light, it's definitely going to revert. So make sure you are giving it lots of bright indirect light. And then you can see right over here, Plant Foldies, a sea of pothos plants. So we've got Marble Queen pothos, Golden pothos, and this one is for $14.98. Look at how beautiful that variegation is, and I am all about trying to propagate so many pothos just because why not, right? That's one way to increase your plant collection, is to just continue to propagate from your plants. So I am doing that, and I may end up actually selling them, but for now I am focused on, branding my grandmother's plants that she was meaning to actually sell at a farmer's market, but unfortunately she did have an accident where she fractured her hip. For those that have been asking about my grandmother, my Lola Belen, my 90-year-old grandmother is recovering. She is recovering slowly but surely. She is able to be upright. She is walking on a walker, but her goal is to really be a little bit more self-sufficient without the walker. We did tell her that she needs to slow down a little bit because she is very determined, and I commend my grandmother for that, because I know at the end of the day she really wants to make sure that she has the quality of life she wants, and that's really being self-sufficient. So she is one of my biggest inspirations. And, for those that have been following this YouTube channel, I really do appreciate all of the prayers and follow up in terms of her health. Now over here, Plant Foldies, just look at this. All this greenery is just amazing. And so we're just going to continue to walk around and pick up some plants. Let me know in the comment section what you think. And if you've made it this far into the video and have not pressed the thumbs up or like button for this video, please definitely do that. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And there is a new feature. Once you press the like button, you can also hype the video, which gives it additional points for the algorithm to push this content out. Again, we're about 40 more subscribers away from reaching 13,000 YouTube subscribers. I can't believe it, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without your viewership and support. So I will repeat myself again, but I did want to tell all of the Plant Foldies, thank you so much. So let's just continue to look at all of this beautiful foliage. Let me know what you think, and let's just keep shopping. Plant foldies, you'll notice that all of the plants on this particular table are all green but easy to care for plants. That is what we need in all of our plant collections. And you can just see right over here, beautiful ficus lyrata. I ended up getting one again for only $10. I've been growing my ficus lyrata out in my backyard in full sun, and it is doing very well. I am just a little bit worried about what am I going to do with all of my plants when winter comes. So I have to figure out the space, and you can see right over here more golden pothos right here. I'm just curious if anybody else is collecting just pothos plants, or if you're just propagating golden pothos. I don't mind having like a whole room full of just golden pothos. Beautiful bromeliad right here. This one is for $18.98. Look at that that beautiful pink coloration. I absolutely love it. This is a really nice one as well, and I just really feel like in terms of all of these plants, I just think that bromeliads, it's another one of those plants that have very beautiful colors. And to me, I feel like next year for 2026, I think colorful, vibrant plants are what's going to be trending, or at least let's go ahead and create that. So you can see right here, back to school season, back to college was just a couple weeks ago, and you can see welcome back to campus, why plants? And that is exactly why I would ask, you know, if anybody is a student or if anybody just needs some greenery, you definitely want to invest in houseplants. And this table right here has all of the easy care plants. We've got a Sansevieria trifasciata, and look at the planter here too, really nice terracotta planter with a little yellow paint on it. This is another plant, again, very much so low light tolerant, drought tolerant, and we are about to pick up one of my favorites in just a second, because you can see this table does have a bunch of easy care plants, and that is in Aglaonema red Siam. Now, this is the Growfold YouTube channel official plant mascot. I think this is such a beautiful plant. This one is for $19.98. Look at that planter as well. It's a really nice one. It does match the pink stems. Aglaonema red Siam. So if you don't have an Aglaonema Silver Bay, get yourself an Aglaonema red Siam. I mean, just look how beautiful it is. Rooting for you. I am definitely rooting for you to buy an Aglaonema red Siam. So again, if you have been watching these videos of mine for more than a year and you don't have an Aglaonema red Siam, can you do me an early Christmas present and just buy one, add it to your plant collection? Because again, we want to go ahead and get Aglaonema popular. Let us use the hashtag popularize Aglaonema. And for all of this amazing plant foldies that have been going on social media and getting you know, posts up, thank you for doing that. Let's get that trending. And I'm going to go ahead and mention this again. We do have a community tab on my YouTube channel. It is now open publicly for anybody that is subscribed to my channel to post your plant pictures, post messages. Let's get that engagement going and that conversation going among the plant foldy community. We don't currently have a Facebook page, but I figured the community tab would serve just as well. So feel free to share your plants. I would love to see it. I would love to see what the plant foldies are growing. Now over here is another plant, $15.98, a little cute Pachira aquatica or money tree plant. Love this as well. And we're just going to go ahead and look at some of the other plants on this table before I wrap up this video today. I tell you guys that I'm actually a big fan of Sansevieria. I don't talk about my collection as often, but for these Sansevieria, these are the Bird's Nest Sansevieria for $7.98. I've actually gotten some rare Sansevieria from Succulents Asia. You can go to succulentsasia.com and they have some amazing varieties that you would definitely not see at a big box store. And that is, again, the reason why, you want to make sure that you can find plants from various sources, not limiting yourself just to big box stores, local nurseries. You would be surprised about how easy it is to get plants from overseas now, because most of these international vendors go through an import broker. So they're the ones that actually import the plants and deal with all of the phytos and all of that stuff. And it will just get sent directly to your doorstep. And just really happy that I've been able to make some connections with a lot of these nurseries overseas. So in the next couple of weeks, Plantfoldies, you will see another haul from me. But as you can see right over here, they always have this Vigoro hanging basket fixture. So we've got a red Marantha, we've got Hoyas, we've got some beautiful golden pothos right here. All of the baskets on here are for $19.98. I do like the red Marantha, or at least the look of it, but I just think Marantha plants, any type of Calathea plants or prayer plants, are just a little bit too challenging for me to grow in my houseplant collection. I would rather go for maybe even this Hoya Carnosa, and you can even see here, this is a beautiful one. It is sunstress, and I am starting to get a couple more Hoyas in my collection. Would I think that I would be a full-fledged Hoya head? Probably not, just because I am so committed to Aglaonemas, but I do love the fact that Hoyas are very much so very forgiving plants, at least the varieties that I have, and they're pretty easy to grow. I just can't wait to see if my Hoyas will ever bloom. Somebody told me to just fertilize them with some bloom booster that would actually encourage them to bloom. So for my Hoya experts, my Hoya heads, my Plantfoldies, and I know you guys are out there, let me know in the comments section what you think. But this one right here, again, is a very value price for $19.98. And again, you can't go wrong without buying some of these plants, especially for the prices that they're asking for. I mean, look at how highly variegated this Hoya Carnosa Crimson Queen is. Love the variegation, and when you give it a lot more bright indirect light, it will give you some pinks as well, because it is sunstress. So we're just going to continue to look at some of these plants as I wrap up this video. Hopefully everybody has enjoyed seeing a mix of big box store plant shopping videos, as well as local nurseries that I have been featuring around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Terrariums are definitely a trending plant. It is one of the most popular plants. Everybody's going crazy over Anthuriums except this Anthurium. So this Anthurium is really the most underrated, overlooked Anthurium ever, even though I feel like it's still such a beautiful plant. And I mean, the price for this one right here, it's only, what is it, $9.98. Look at that beautiful red bloom, and I just love the leaves. The leaves have a nice shiny waxy look about it. This is an Anthurium that definitely a lot of people are not really into. if I were to get this anthurium, and I've seen this offered as a variegated pink anthurium on eBay called Shibori, I would definitely buy that. Although I think it's like $160 for that anthurium. It's based out in Hawaii, or at least the vendor is based out in Hawaii, but that would be one of my wish list plants. I do want to get one of these types of anthuriums. I would love to get a pink one, although the traditional red one is also nice as well. Plant foldies, let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you think that this anthurium deserves some attention? I definitely think so. I know that there are a lot of different types of anthurium hybrids, and just a little sneak peek, let's just say that I will also be doing a houseplant tour for a very well-known anthurium breeder, cultivator out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I will be definitely raiding his house of these anthuriums, so stay tuned for that. I know that everybody that did tune into Isaac's houseplant tour, my best friend Isaac, it seems like you guys like that type of content as well. So I'm gonna definitely do that. But right over here is $18.98. I mean, look at the leaves, right? Plant foldies, let me know what you think of this anthurium. Do you grow this particular anthurium? Because I am ready to go ahead and get some of these types of anthuriums. You know, it's one of those things where, again, you just find a plant and you want to just keep buying plants, but I'm really trying not to spend that kind of money. And that is a reason why I am working super, super hard to at least get plant content. Maybe some of that additional ad revenue will help fund some of my plants. Again, plant foldies, for those that have left a monetary tip in the form of a super sticker, a super thanks, or even those that have gifted YouTube membership tiers, it definitely helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate that. But as I pick up these plants, let me know what you think, and hopefully people are gonna get into these plants, because this is another one of the plants that I would say my best friend Isaac would grow, and he would probably grow them very effortlessly. I'm going to go raid his house again and do another plant tour in a couple weeks, and we'll get some more updates on it. It seems like you guys really like the house plant tour, and for me, I am all about trying to diversify this YouTube content in a way where maybe, just maybe, the algorithm will be a little bit more kind and will be able to let me venture out into other niches aside from plants. Now, this one right here, I wanted to show y'all this. $19.98. Look at how trailing this neon pothos is. And so for me, if you're gonna buy a hanging basket, you might as well look for one that has a lot of growth already. So you can already tell that this one has been growing in this Home Depot for quite a while. But if you pay for $19.98, I do think you're getting some really good value, because look at it, it's already trailing, and you can take a lot of propagations or cuttings from this. I don't know if anybody else looks for that type of growth whenever you're going to a big box store. I definitely do, because I like to maximize on my plants, how much money I'm spending on plants, especially when you're dealing with growth. Again, we have all of these Hoyas as well, and you know, even though this Hoya is common, $19.98, it's still a beautiful Hoya, and I would highly recommend getting it if you're going to go big box store plant shopping. Plant foldies, what did you think of today's video where we just go and look at these plants at Home Depot? Home Depot, at least for me, has always been consistent in terms of just the Proven Winners Leafjoy plants, the value of the plants that they push, and even just the additional sales that they will have. Oftentimes, we'll find plants for 50% off, and they do have a really good selection of plants. So I do urge those that are able to get to a Home Depot, definitely check it out. Definitely buy those Proven Winners Leafjoy plants. And I'm just going to go pan around here one last time to show you how full and impactful all of these plants look at this Home Depot. And this track that you're listening to, this musical track, is called Twilight. It is the official opener of my YouTube channel. If you join my YouTube membership tier, you will have access to the majority of the soundtracks here. Hopefully you will press the join button or click on the link to join my YouTube membership tier. As always, my name is Richie at Growfold. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please click on the videos that are popping up on your screen, and definitely tune in this week. I will have some brand new content. I'll see you on the next one.